Hey guys, how's it going? This here's Tracilyn. I'm also known as VCat. And today I've been pretty much working pretty steadily at sharing my life story. I got a website at tracilyn.com. There you can have some free downloadable music, some songs that I've written about my life journey. Sometimes other people inspired me greatly and songs were birthed. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you'd like to hear more from me in future postings. I also have another YouTube channel. If you type in Tracilyn Michael or VCat, the V, the letter V, and the letter K, A-T. Also, I'm on Facebook. Feel free to connect with me there. It's Tracilyn21. I've been sharing with you today about relationships, the different relationships that I had. And I was having some Superball moments, is what I call them. You ever bounce a Superball and they bounce all over the place? That's kind of like this here. I know that I've touched base on some pretty sensitive subjects to different individuals. I'm not here to try to upset anybody, or do I desire to offend anyone, not at all. So just know that I've been through a lot throughout my life, as many people have, if not all of us. And I feel very strongly that in sharing my life story, that it's going to be an inspiration somehow, some way, and be useful to help educate others, helping them to understand maybe something that they're not going through, maybe to help them connect with others. You know, we all have different backgrounds, different belief systems. And I'm a firm believer that we can be an individual, yet come together, live and let live kind of thing, and be supportive of one another, even if we don't fully understand. You know, so many things, if we're honest, we're all seeking. We're all seeking for a little more wisdom. So I'm hoping this helps in some way. I've been sharing my testimony about how I used to, how I got started working out. I don't want to keep repeating that because I got to be honest, I'm really using up the memory here on my computer, and I got a lot of other subjects that I want to touch base on this week, and I want to wrap things up, and after I wrap those things up, I still have a lot to talk about yet in a week or two afterwards. So I'm doing the very best I can as we chug along here. So we're talking about physical fitness has always been a very big part of my life. In childhood, I grew up riding bike, playing out in the yard. Everything was physical for me. I want to connect with other people. I'm trying to fit in. I don't know how to fit in. I want to hang out with the girls. I want to play with the dolls ever since, especially in Jonestown, but even back in where the first home that I had. I want to be more like girls, look like girls. I'm attracted to guys, older guys specifically. But I like all men, and I love all people. Right now we're talking about where I let off with the other videos. Hopefully this will touch base when I piece it together. Is I was going to a gym here in Lebanon, and I really admired the owner a lot. He was always very nice to me, and as he was everyone. People respected him greatly, and he was there to share his amazing stories about being a bodybuilder and just life in general. You know, he did a lot. He had other businesses that he ran, and I used to admire that too, because it kind of reminded me, not that he reminded me, but his work ethics kind of reminded me of my grandfather. He was a person of integrity, and he took his business very serious. So, and he used to tease me sometimes, I guess, because in the beginning I had long hair, then I got it cut. And he was the first one to ever mention about, is it Salem? I don't know who it is in the Bible that mentions about, you know, I studied the Bibles, but I don't remember all the details. Okay, just know that, just the things that really meant a lot to me. And this has been years ago now. I've gotten away from a lot of that. But I do know that Sam, I don't know who, they got their hair cut. Something happened with their hair. They didn't get their hair cut. They got something happened with their hair, and basically that was his strength, or so it was said to believe. So he teased me a little bit about that. Because a lot of people felt that I was that way. And he would remind me of that a few times. And try to tell me that my hair wasn't my strength. But can I just share with you, it's not necessarily my strength, but it's a big part of me expressing my inner spirit. Even if it's not understood by me or anyone else. I want long hair ever since I was little. So as you can see, it is kind of short now. But so going there, I already know I'm attracted to all these guys. I'm tired of getting bullied around throughout my life. The more muscle I have, the less likely I'm going to look intimidating to others, so the less likely people are going to pick on me. And it held to be true. It held to be very true. Of course, I'm going to keep working that direction, right? But meanwhile, my body's kind of falling apart later on. You find out I needed surgeries or this rotator cuff, and I have stretch marks from this day from just growing fast so quickly because I took weight gainers. So, and sometimes they were 1,500 or 1,000 calorie drinks several times a day, 2 or 3 times a day. I mean, it's amazing the things that I was doing. I wanted to get big. Was it in the drink or was it in my weights? Because I wasn't getting it. I'm not getting stronger. I'm getting bigger. Sadly, I'm getting bigger, but I'm not really getting stronger. I was totally going in the wrong direction for myself. It was an experience. So at this gym, because I think I remember in a few videos ago I used to tell you that when I worked landscaping especially, I learned early that I can't work out afterwards. For me, I don't want to work out after work. A lot of the guys did. I kind of want to go home, eat, and go to sleep. That's what I wanted to do back then, just sleep. I was so depressed. All I wanted to do is sleep, 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 sleep. So I worked, ate, slept. Work, ate, slept. But going to the gym, and I explained to this gentleman about my situation, he actually trusted me to have the key to his gym, and it was understood that I would be faithful and committed to keeping that gym opened when I would go there at the time that I said I would be there, and that I wouldn't ever use it for any other reason, just to open it in the morning. So we worked out our agreement, and I stuck with it faithfully, even if I got to the point I was like, I don't want to go. I'd go and unlock it at a certain time that we agreed on, and I'd go back home. I'd just unlock it, make sure everything was okay inside, and I'd go. Can I tell you that meant a lot to me? That this guy trusted me, to open up his gym? That was a huge responsibility. I got all of his equipment there. He's trusting Tracilyn with that. Remember, I'm trying to fit in. I was proud to open that gym. I was grateful. I was grateful that he trusted me. Okay, we'll leave it there. I used to look forward when he would show up sometimes early in the morning just to double check. Is she really doing it at the time? Was he really doing this? And yes, I was. Absolutely. I liked going there to be alone and work out. I don't know if he understood that or not, or if he knew that. But I enjoyed going there alone. The music, he had it on a timer so the music would kick on. Because I'd bring that up once in a while. It's kind of quiet. I gotta be honest, I was kind of scared to be there alone. And it was usually dark out early in the morning, 4 o'clock, 4:30 or something like that. I forget exactly now, but I worked out for about 2 hours every morning. And that's when I actually dropped weights on my chest. He told me not to do that, but I did. I want to get stronger. But I gotta be honest with you, I learned in life I'm better to use light weights, extremely light nowadays, and do a lot of repetitions, rather than a lot of weight and a couple repetitions to bulk up. I was better to work out with a lot of repetitions, and if I'm saying that right, and lightweight. There was a few times that I dropped it on my chest. Nobody's there. He already warned me. I didn't have a spotter, so I'm kind of finagling them off of me, you know. And in doing that, I had to roll it off my chest, and I got black and blue marks, and there were some scary moments, and I learned, stop doing this, so I stopped doing that. That's why I think I got into doing machines. I want to do more machines now. It seemed a little less likely to hurt myself. Isn't that horrible? That's how desperate I was. Get bigger like these guys. I wasn't meant to be that way. It definitely was not in alignment with my brain or in my heart. My heart and my brain were in alignment, and it was very obvious that I was pushing my body beyond its limits, because I wouldn't have to be getting surgery. I wouldn't be dropping weights on myself like that, and I wouldn't be getting more fattier. And I mean this respectfully, more fattier than muscular. You know, I wasn't doing something right. I continued to go. I started using more dumbbells. I loved working out in the mirror. I loved to watch myself and watch how, you know, I would be working out. I learned through him and the other guys. They would teach me different things. And just examining, watching, observing, I should say, not examining, but observing. I was dedicated. He had a lot of magazines there. I would go through these magazines. Did you ever do that? I'm known to do that. TV Guide. You know, I look at other people. I want to look like them. I don't want to ride this too much, but that was a great time in my life. And sometime I had, no one specifically, please understand, this is not him, this is other guys I had. A lot of the bodybuilders, they removed their hair for bodybuilding competitions usually, you know, to pose and stuff. And for whatever reasons they did. For me, just like the rock and rollers of the 80s, this was a window of opportunity for me to start shaving my legs and stuff. So there you have it. When did Tracilyn start removing the hair from her body? Actually, a lot earlier than that. But I always wore jeans. I would never let anybody see my legs because I was afraid they'd make fun of me and I'd be bullied around again. So the second if you remember back on a few other videos, I started talking about when I hit puberty. This stuff I didn't like. I didn't like hair on my body there. Up here, my eyebrows a little bit and my eyelashes. You know, not on my face, please. And not in my private area, really. You know, I have a little bit there for anybody who's curious. I do. Welcome, Matt, is what I say. But outside of that, none. You know, I got laser treatment later years, electrolysis, electrology for my face. This opened up the door that, you know, not only could I wear women's clothing through the 80s, now I can shave my legs in the 90s, you know. And I didn't know how to take that, but that was my excuse around my sisters, around my family, my friends, you know, because I'd be okay when I had that guy at work. I don't know if I told you about, I used to put my legs up and he would see them and he would tease me about that. Are you gay? Are you gay? You know, you got nice smooth legs. He would tease me about that all the time. I was like, hey, I'm a bodybuilder. Look at me. Look at these. Look at these arms. I'm a bodybuilder. Look at that muscle. Don't tell me I'm gay. You know, that's the way I was. I'm not gay. After my legs, it started to be my hiney. Because I shaved my hiney. And I wanted a smooth bottom. I know this stuff is kind of goofy to you, but to me it wasn't. I didn't want hair on my body. Okay? Let's make that clear. I didn't want hair. I didn't want hair under my armpits. I didn't want it anywhere on my body. This really bothered me. And because I saw the other guys, not all of them, and they were serious bodybuilding competitors. Okay? It's different. For me, I wasn't a bodybuilder competitor. I wanted a big body to stop being bullied around, but I really wanted another body. So I was going in the wrong direction. This was opening up other doors, so I shaved a lot. And I remember the first time I shaved, I was living at the trailer with my mom, that I really remember shaving. I might have shaved my legs and stuff beforehand, but now I'm starting to do my private areas more. And I remember the fear of being caught, and at some point my brother somehow knew. I don't know how he knew. It wasn't that I was showing him, but somehow he knew. I guess he noticed my legs and was asking me. and because he was into bodybuilding too. I told him, I'm a bodybuilder, you know, I figured it's time to start doing it. I put lotion, I use the tanning beds all the time, right? Tanning beds, hair kind of gets in the way, you start getting burned and you don't want to get burned, or you're not getting tanned properly. I thought of all the creative excuses one could imagine. Bottom line is, Tracilyn just didn't want hair on her body, okay? And I didn't know how to deal with that if everybody else is putting pressure on me to be more boy. Now I look at it, I don't care. I shave. Actually, I don't shave. I had laser treatment. For those who want to know, I had electrolysis and I had laser treatment. Even on my hiney, okay? I never completed it all, so I have a couple of hairs here and there. And trust me, it disgusts me. I shave. Use a tweezer. I don't like that, but I do. Okay. Even my eyebrows, I had shaved. Now, I messed them up a little bit myself, I'll be honest. And some of you girls might be saying, well, you kind of messed up your eyebrows. Yes, I did, girl. I did, girlfriend. I did mess them up a little bit. Okay? But they'll grow back, some of them, you know, where I did. Because I had a little bit of electrolysis. We'll talk about that another time. Maybe some makeup tips or something like that. We could learn off of each other. I even had electrolysis done on my eyebrows. All this stems back from my childhood. All this stems back from observing my mother and observing the ladies in my life and the people on television and in my TV guide. Everything. Magazines. Let me see if I can get this right. Here. Hold on. Go back here. There we go. So, don't want to hold on too much about that. That's a lot of it that's to do in my transitioning. I want to talk about that. We're still in the gym, so let's open up deals. I remember one time I ended up meeting a guy that was there. Now this is later years, and I'm not saying what gym, I'm not saying who it was. It was not the owner. It was not the owner. Let's make this clear. Let's get this clear. It was not the owner or any of these other guys. This was a new guy that started coming there. A new guy started coming there. And I would pop in every once in a while, depending on the job I had through the years, because I was going there for a long time. I was dedicated to that gym. Wouldn't go anywhere else. We had conversations about that. You know, this was an old school kind of gym, and I loved it. Okay, I really loved it a lot. I liked the way it smelled. Sorry, I did. And that was just part of working out, you know. A lot of sweaty bodies, including myself. So this new guy started coming there. He noticed my legs were shaved. Okay. He started asking me, are you gay? And actually he started humiliating me with the other guys. This guy, who does he think he is walking into this gym? This is our gym, a family gym kind of thing. A lot of people went. Hopefully still go. I don't know if it still exists or not. But I'll never forget how I felt. Imagine how I felt. Why are you going around questioning people about why I shave? All bodybuilders, not all bodybuilders. A lot of bodybuilders do, especially competitors. Okay. So I'm thinking if Arnold Schwarzenegger can do it, okay, because he used to have magazines of him there, especially through his younger years and stuff. He had all these old magazines from years and years and years, all kinds, new stuff coming in, old stuff. And I can't remember a lot of the guys I used to admire, but Arnold Schwarzenegger was one. You know, there occasionally articles would come out from years ago, and guys would be looking through it in between your in between your sets. You'd go and you'd do a set, push-ups, or not push-ups. I do push-ups now. Bench pressing or arm curls or triceps or whatever you were doing, you know, working on your traps. How's that? Is that working good? And in between your sets, you would go up closer to his office, and they'd have magazines there, and we'd kind of look at that, and we'd share, you know. Got into conversations like that. You learn a lot from these magazines, you know, to add new workouts into your routine and dieting and stuff. I wanted to be cut. I wanted to be cut and look intimidating. I don't want to necessarily look like, I want to be toned now, slender, thin, you know. And Arnold Schwarzenegger was a big, big inspiration to me. Beautiful body. And I remember watching them as a kid growing up at my grandparents'. That was another thing years ago. That was really big. You turn on the television, there was always competitions on with, and I love the girls. Oh, I love the girls. And I gotta be honest, sometimes I would think, why would girls want to be so muscular like a guy? I don't want to. The only reason I want to do it is because I don't want to get hurt anymore. I don't want to get picked on anymore, so that's why I wanted to do it. But to be honest, now I don't want to do it. And I love guys. I love guys of all shapes and sizes, by the way, not just with muscles. Let's make this clear. Tracilyn goes for the inside. I don't care so much about the outside, especially now. I want somebody who can appreciate me in my life. Just people, friends. A guy, you know, I'm human. And I don't care so much about that. But I look at it as an artist, beautiful. I know that these guys work out hard. I know they got a diet. I know they take their bodies to extremes to do it. Okay? Got to be well rested. It all adds up. Your sleep, your diet, your everything. If you're smoking or drinking, all this matters. It really does matter. So you learn a lot watching through these magazines. And anyway, eventually I kind of parted ways with that. I would dabble back and forth. I tried to keep my membership going as much as possible just because I really cared about him and that facility. You know? Even days that I wouldn't show up, I would still, want to work out, I'd still unlock it and stuff like that. And during the times that I separated, I still wore the shirts. I still constantly would look at that shirt and reflect back, why am I not going? I should go. I really wanted to go. When I didn't work out, I felt awful. Okay, I really did. I wanted to work out in my life. I became addicted to it, and I felt good about myself when I was. I felt healthier, more alive kind of thing. So when that guy did that, I felt humiliated. He's going and asking the whole crowd, and he doesn't care about hurting my feelings. So I had to be tough. Like, basically, what do you think you're doing? Who are you? You don't get it? I'm kind of like, look in the magazines. Look at these other guys. Look at this guy. Look at this guy who's 5 times the size of me. You gonna go make fun of him? No, he's not. And his excuse was, well, he's 5 times the size of you, if that's what was said. He's 5 times the size of you, but who are you? Basically, what I found out, this guy was attracted to me. And he was teasing me. And I often said this, don't get offended when I say this, but I say a lot of times when a guy likes a girl, he kind of doesn't know how to really get her attention without teasing her, picking on her. As it seems to me, looking back at my life, and I'm not saying the guys that hurt me. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying the guys that I end up finding out like me, okay? It seems like the guys who that I found out liked me, they teased me in the beginning. They kind of picked on me. They humiliated me. And I'm like, really? Is that... And I would just joke and kind of laugh now because it's like, it's boys trying to be men to get the lady that they're attracted to. And I give room for exception for that now. Sometimes we just don't know how to tell the other person, I like you. I'd like to date you. Well, in this situation, I know it's very obvious because eventually he had a motorcycle and he pulled up and he started asking me, and I'm thinking to myself at that time, it's not registering. It's like, why are you humiliating me in front of everyone, teasing me? Now you want me to go for a ride on the back of your motorcycle? Of course I want to go, but I'm not gay. Is that possible? Can 2 guys ride on a motorcycle together? Yeah, go for it, Tracilyn, go for it. And I enjoyed it. And during that ride, he kind of left it know that, hey, it's okay if you want to wrap your arms around me. He dropped my hands down between his private area a couple of times to let me know, hey, this is okay. He was cool. He was really cool in the end. He's very cool. If you're out there and you see this, please don't be upset. I'm not mentioning any names. Nobody knows who it is. This was years ago. And I was confused, but I was more daring. So I kind of followed his lead. I ended up stopping by, I think it was his house or his parents' house, for just something small to eat, a drink or something, of water or some kind of fitness drink. And can I say that I wanted to do things with him, but I was still scared of being gay at that time. he humiliated me in front of the gym. What's going to happen if I do stuff with him? Is he going to make my life harder? And can I say, I don't remember doing too much with him other than touching him on the bike. When we got back, I was so excited. I didn't know how to deal with that. I was overwhelmed. Wow. This guy at a gym picked me up. This is great. I didn't know how to take it though. Am I a guy? Am I with a guy? Two guys on there. Trust me, I went through all of this throughout my life. I'm a transgendered lady, and I'm going to keep saying that. I'm going to keep reminding you. I really am. But this time, I'm dealing with this. Can I tell you that because I didn't do things with him, he made things a little bit more complicated for me just because of that. Listen, I really liked him, but I wanted to stay away from that. So now this guy's he thinks it's kind of funny because evidently he's kind of comfortable with who he is. And now he's actually he was, in a sense, he was helping me. He was getting me out there. And he was trying to make me feel comfortable with my sexuality. I wasn't ready for it at that time. I wanted to be. And I was pushing the limits a little bit further, my own boundaries. So thank you for the experience. It's something to talk about for years to come. After that, I can't really remember how it all worked out, but I know that there was another gym within that city that opened up. Had different equipment, more machines, a lot more people were going there. It's a social event too as well for some people. Opportunity to meet. There's a diverse group of people that went there. So I'm looking forward to going to this gym, and I was diehard. I went there. Amazing guys own this gym. Very good looking bodies, and I'm saying as an art form. I got to know their sister. It was a family ran kind of place. I'm so grateful that I got to know her. And I don't want to write too much about this because I had a great deal of respect for that gym when I first started going there. This was during this time as a musician. It was very important for me to get my body in shape. I started getting closer to what I realized I was starting to come out of my closet, to start wearing the right clothing for me, start dressing the right way, that I want to dress, not the way I'm told to dress. I'm still shaving my legs and stuff like that, going to this gym. Can I say I was very dedicated to going there? And this is the gym that I came out in. I didn't know how to deal with it. I came out, and before I started taking hormone therapy, which I'll explain a little bit about that then, can I say that my confidence and everything was pretty much, I was very confident. I just came out, and I did it. And when people made fun of me and stuff, I would because I'm an entertainer, I finagled my way around that. And I turned it into a big joke, sometimes scaring people. You ought to hear some stories I'll share with you then. Sometimes just scaring people, but not trying to scare them, but with my sense of humor. They didn't know how to take it. They never met a transgendered lady, some of these people that I would run cross paths with. It hurt me. It hurt me because they weren't educated enough and really knew what to do about the situation. I wasn't. But let me just say, my whole life, I was uncomfortable being in the locker room. You're going to hear me when I talk about the school. I was uncomfortable. I don't want to be around guys. I do now. Put me in your locker room. Especially with the football players, please. NFL. Oh, how I fantasize about that now. And I wouldn't mind. But I did mind as a kid growing up. Believe it or not, my whole life I did. I always felt uncomfortable with what was between my legs. That may seem a little weird to you. It was weird to me. So what do? Here's somebody who's supposed to be a male. Why not use the male locker room? Make it that easy, right? That easy. Only now I'm coming out. I've always felt this way. I'm hiding it. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. So they say, I can't believe it. How did you not know? This guy knew. Other people are starting to notice. The awareness is starting to kick in. And you will find out some things that I used to do. To flirt with guys. As a teenager, scared out of my wits. Some of the jobs I had where encounters happened. I have to share some of this stuff with you. It's very important. I've been through a lot more than just neighborhood stuff. Okay? Oh, I'm bouncing around here a little bit. I wish I had more time to share with you. What do you do? What's the answer? Do you open up another locker room for diverse people? You know, for people who are transitioning, unisex places. These people talked about that. What do? Open up a unisex bathroom? You know what? I had to start using the bathroom. The restroom's out in the hall. So I stopped going to the locker room and changing. Of course, I didn't really do it that much anyway. I always came in my attire. But it was when I used the bathroom. It's a big issue in this world. Let me tell you something. I'm legally, even the birth certificate, corrected. Okay, so if you see me locally here in the restroom, just know this. I'm as much as a lady as the next lady that walks in. Okay? Don't want to make a big deal out of it. I want to use the restroom safely without being harassed. Okay? So remember that. All the girls do. I would say all the girls do. You don't want to be harassed. You want to use the restroom like you, like anyone else. And with me coming out, broke my heart when I was asked to use the restroom out there. But what do you do? And I look back now. What do you do? What a surprise! And his exact words were, there was no preparation for this. He pulled me in the back office because I just started using the girls' restroom, and this totally. I didn't know what else to do myself. I didn't know what to do. I just said I'm all out, and back up because I'm a lady. And I'll tell you more about that at another time. This got some people that ruffled their feathers a little bit, and he's trying to be a peacemaker. He took me back to the office. We had a long talk. And though he didn't fully understand it, he had friends of all walks of life. And he said, I don't know, Tracilyn, I'm in a bind here. And can I tell you, that hurt. It hurt me even though I understand. His sister was amazing. Let me tell you something. Obviously, I was talk of that gym. And it hurt. Because I was all about making my body look as beautiful as it could. I finally got it by that time that I didn't want to be a big muscle head. I want to have some curves. I want to tone my body. And I learned through going the other way that if I reversed the process by slimming down, watching my diets, watching the calories, keeping away from fatty foods, I learned so much about dieting. And I also knew that if I worked out regularly, and let me tell you something, anybody who knows me from back in that day, I worked out faithfully, regularly, hours, every day. Every day. Every day. Did I say every day? I worked hard at trying to get the body I longed for. And it took me a while before I realized I have a beautiful body. And it came from being devoted, committed. And I'm thinking to myself, with all these people making fun of me, talking about me, gossiping behind my back, gossiping in front of me, I'm a weirdo. They don't get it, I don't get it, nobody gets it. His sister was there for me. She tried to be very supportive. And it's not that he did, it's not that he didn't. What do you do? Tough situation. So it's very obvious in time I just stopped going to the gym. I figured I can't take the pressure anymore. And I used to think to myself, and I'm going to say this now, for all the people that have gyms out there, I don't know what the exact solution is myself. Sure could come to one. How about treating them like a human being? And for the other members, Bottom line, if you don't treat everybody there with respect, then that member is no longer a member. How about that? How about instead of making the one who is trying to be the best person that they can be and not giving anybody else a hard time, how about we support them and we get rid of the people who are gossiping? We don't need them in our gym. Did you ever think of that? Mr. and Mrs. back here, they want to gossip about stuff. How about you're out of the gym? Sorry, we don't tolerate that. We have zero tolerance. My gym, zero tolerance. If it was my gym, zero tolerance. You will respect everybody in here or get out. Get out. There was a lot more of them than me, I guess, though, huh? That's what I had to say about that. And personally, if I was a fitness center owner, I'd be proud to have a transsexual working out. Let me tell you something. I've been through a lot. My body has worn down. Go through all kinds of changes, but I will say this proudly, especially one as hot as I was during that time. Okay? I was beautiful. Art. Art. It's all art to me. Expression of the inner spirit. You know? For any gyms that are out there, fitness centers, let me just tell you, you ought to put together programs and help these people. Because the people who are into physical fitness could best help them sculpt them, okay, sculpture their bodies without having to go, getting as less surgery as possible. A lot of the girls aren't aware that they can sculpt their own body. I learned this from being in the gym I've been working out since I'm 7 or 8 years old. And I had some of the most amazing people in my life teaching me, and I read a history of Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, I read all this stuff. And can I just say, be supportive. Get rid of the gossipers. You know? There's transsexuals out there, the fitness centers, they don't realize, especially in this day and age. They could elevate them, they could help them, they could be supportive and gather people together in that environment and help to educate people and cheer them on. And next thing you know, that transsexual could be the next one on the television being a competitor. Okay? She might end up being a cheerleader. She may not, and who knows what she's going to end up being. Maybe just a decent human being who's going to go around telling the whole world that if it wasn't for her home-based fitness center, I wouldn't exist. Because I needed that more than anything at that time in my life. All that stress, all that anger, all that confusion. I needed to work out. And anybody who knows, you work out a lot. You can't stop. I always work out. I gotta work out. There's some people that just go to the gym, they can't stop. They're there twice a day. No gossiping at my gym. You can't handle it, get out. And the bottom line is, don't take it personal. We're here to work out. We're here to help people maximize their body, their physique. Body, mind, and soul. Because I worked out and I continued to work out. After leaving there, I couldn't take it anymore. And I let them know, I don't have any problems with the owners. I don't have any problems with the sister, so adorable. She was so sweet to me. People weren't educated. They didn't know. How do you deal with this? How do you deal with it? Leave a comment. How do you deal with it? Be nice. Be respectful. Let's help work this out together. For all fitness centers around the world. How do we deal with it? What makes sense? Can I ask you something? What makes sense? Is it a body part that declares what a human is? Boy, girl, monkey. If I had a tail, am I a monkey? A kitty cat? Kangaroo? So the one thing I love the most, I'm a local celebrity, by the way. This is somebody who's on television commercials. This is somebody who's in papers, magazines, on the radio. Okay? Years later, now on YouTube, sharing my story. Wouldn't this story be a little bit better if, you know what, we came together with a plan. It was a shock to everyone's system, but in the end, that fitness center kind of was supportive and helped. We helped each other. We helped each other. And now it's opened up the doors to more diversity coming in. Think about that. Just think about that for years to come. For years to come. Personally, I want a fitness center, if I'm going to own one, be a reputation that we help everybody. We do not judge here. We're here to get you in shape, to maximize your physique so you can maximize your life journey. Not everybody thinks like Tracilyn. What a shame. What a shame, because for the rest of my life, that's my testimony. And can I just say, with all due respect, what do you feel about that now? How do you feel about that? I don't mean that to be smart. I'm just asking, how do you feel about that? I'm not using the fitness center's name. I'm not saying anything. Privately, I'm sure, thinking about how many times I could share that. Well, this is a fitness center I went to. I'll tell you why, because I really love the ladies that work there. They were so respectful to me in the end, and I know they knew who's in who. What do we do? But I'll tell you what, if you're a part of the problem, as far as the gossip, and as far as the harassing and making fun and teasing about somebody else, if you are part of the problem, you know, it's a shame. It's a shame. I was die hard. I have a history my whole life. I worked out. I wanted to be a part of a gym. Why do I go to a gym? All the equipment. I go in there, I work out, I leave. I need to use the potty. Uh-oh. What do we do? What do we do? I went out to the hallway. I'll tell you what, let me tell you something. I had self-love. And I said, I'm not walking away from this. I'm going to use the hallway bathroom, okay? I'm going to use the hallway bathroom. I wasn't confident enough yet, right? I had other things going on in my life. I don't want to be worried about things like this, little petty things, really. But is it so petty? That's the way I was feeling at the time. So what did I do? I said, I don't want to be a part of a fitness center. That I don't want to be gossiped and talked about. And that you can't stop, you can't control everybody from doing that. I understand that. I do know that. And I understand that unless people are educated and they have a plan in advance, and he was right. I should have talked to him. We could have come up with, how can we do this? Let me tell you something. Until you live my life, let me tell you something. To a lot of people, that was a shock. Boom, it happened overnight. To me, it happened over a long lifetime of going through a lot of BS. A lot. Okay. Something snapped in my head and said, this is the time. Sorry it wasn't convenient for everybody else. And my exact words are, deal with it. Everybody in the city of London, deal with it. I love you guys. But deal with it. I can't help that it took all that time for me to finally just snap and come out. Sorry I couldn't do it at a nice slow pace and plan it out and write out this huge plan for it. I'm not done sharing my story. Give me an opportunity to share. Find out that's not the only fitness center that I had issues with. And I love them. They're great. It was a great fitness center. I do have this to say, though. For what the name is, let me just say that one of the cities in all of America that I love the most, to me, it doesn't stand for that. Because when I went to the city, it's when I first came out. And I'll talk about that on another video. So you guys want to listen, you figure it out. And let me tell you something, that name to me to this day, this city that I went to, even though there's a lot of things going on within the city, it's a city of diversity. It's a city of acceptance. It's the first city I ever went to and was accepted. In a see-through dress. With a wig on, unfortunately. Okay? So to be going, that's what started to get to me after going to this city. And then going to this fitness center that carried the name, to me, I'm going to be honest, I don't mean to be mean. being honest. To me, my honest feelings were it was a disgrace. But it wasn't a disgrace because the ownership, it wasn't a disgrace. It was, I took it that, for the one thing that I loved the most, because things couldn't be worked out and because every time I was going there, people were making fun of me and harassing me, and I was the one that was going out in the hallway to the bathroom. Why not everybody else go out there? Deal with it. Deal with it or find another fitness center, and that's what I did. I dealt with it, and I said, I love you guys. I love the ladies that work there. Some of my friends went there. That was a hard thing for me to do, but I did it. I dealt with it. I walked away. That hurt. Please forgive me because things didn't come out the way that I would have liked them to. Just know. Personally, I'd love to see the day when there's a transsexual magazine with amazing girls, she-males if you want to call them, transsexuals, sissy boys, whatever anybody wants to title them as. Let's be respectful. You know, a transsexual lady, okay, posing. Because there was a fitness center somewhere nearby that said, you know what, we're going to deal with it. And we're going to help her be the best that she can be. And you know what? We want our name right there. Because we're proud to have her be a part of our gym. Obviously, that did not happen to me at any point in my life, and that my passion's music. I hope to see a day. I hope to see a day when there's a transgendered lady or man, you know, when we can take down the barriers and all of us just deal with it. You know, that's my hope. I hope people get second chances and get other opportunities. It's been years ago. This is years ago. Obviously, I came out probably 6 or 7 years ago. I'll have to figure that out as I go along. Probably 7 years ago, so I had to deal with it, and that hurt. Because I knew that what we were talking about was right. You know, on his end, his perception, on the gym's end, is the bottom line is, how do we plan for this? What do we do? I'm not frustrated specifically with, just understand this, I'm not specifically frustrated with that. I'm talking about the world at large. Okay, we need to start changing our ways. We have to start embracing and accepting and look at the opportunities and not look at it as the opposite. Same with the entertainment industry. Same with politicians. Things are starting to change gracefully. I know they are. Why are they happening so gracefully? Transgenderism has been around forever. As long as man has been on this earth, it's been there. We just haven't dealt with it. We don't want to deal with it. We've been oppressed. And a lot of people like myself, you hit that point where you snap. They call it a breaking point, if you will. Snap. You snap. You know, you just have to be you. This has happened to me gracefully. If you listen to my story, it happens gracefully. But for me, once you hit that point, you're out. And let me tell you something. It's not just going to a local fitness center that becomes a challenge. It's everything. Family, friends, people you thought were your friends. Real friends don't turn your back on you. I learned that in brotherhood years ago. Okay? You lose everything. And I'd rather lose everything than not be true to myself, not be me. People can't deal with it. I deal with it. And I have been dealing with it. And it's not easy. Looks like my battery's kind of starting to fizzle out. I'm going to change that right now, and then I'm going to come back in and finish this up, because this wasn't the only facility I had issues at. Okay. and I love them. But I'm being honest, that's how I felt. You know, the city I went to has a similar name. It is a name. It's much different. Much different. I hope things have changed over the last 7 years. And if it hasn't, I hope it opens up doors for the possibilities. Because I do believe that they were starting to work on dealing with it. I really do. I do believe that they were. And they never directly disrespected me. It was members. It was the members, which is the city of Lebanon, that was going there. I was being disrespected. And they have no idea what I went through my whole life, but they do now. And maybe nobody cares. Maybe nobody cares, and that's okay, because I care. And that's all that matters. And I learned that the hard way. All that matters is that I care. I'm going to change my battery. I'm going to tell you about some other fitness centers and wrap things up for the night, because it's getting late. It's 11 o'clock right now. I love you guys. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom, ba ba. Alright, so we're talking about fitness centers here. I want to wrap things up. It's already 11 o'clock at night. Let me just tell you that I was an escort for a while, and I'm proud that I was. So for all you adult entertainers out there in the world, if you're an escort right now, whoa, that's a touchy subject as well. You know, for a lot of people, it's sensitive. Can I just say I feel for all of you? Okay, I've been through quite a rocky road going down that road. And I'm grateful I had the opportunity, because I'll tell you what, I've learned, and I got to have experiences I would never have any other way. Thank goodness I was an escort, because I learned a lot. And one thing that I did is I traveled a lot. Okay? So now I'm kind of getting run out of my hometown, not for all reasons, for all kinds of reasons. And one of those reasons is I got to start making money, because I can't get a job. I tried to get a job. Okay? Who wants to hire a transsexual lady here? I mean, hopefully it's changed, but for me, that's what I was thinking. Who's going to hire me? Nobody. I filled out applications. I went in for job interviews, and let me tell you something. I got the interviews, but I never got the call, and I got a lot of funny looks, because I had to be opened. Because at that time, I did not have my gender correction on my license or my legal documents. Therefore, let's just go back here in time when I was talking about corrections on legal documents, the importance of that. Very important. Legal documents, especially if you go through professional counseling and it's diagnosed. Okay? People diagnose it a zillion different ways as a gender identity disorder. That's foolish. They used to call it that. Okay? Bottom line is, I'm a female. And the best way that people describe it, which I begin to disagree, and I don't want to get into these topics right now, but, you know, they say, they relate it to, you're like a lady trapped in a man's body. Can you imagine that? It's a good way to explain it. It's that simple. Imagine going through life like that. I'm a lady trapped in here. Help me. Get me out of this place. I want to be in my own body. Okay? Not so. It felt that way until I got comfortable with myself. I had to get comfortable with myself. And I can just say it feels even better. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I wasn't born in a genetic girl's body. To me, I see transsexuals in magazines beautiful. Beautiful. Work of art. Okay? That's the way I see them. All of you. Everybody is. Everybody is. So in order for me to make a living, I'm an entertainer. Let me just say, without digging too much into this right now, that I learned being online, that guys were interested in me. I'm doing this in the privacy of my home. Not now, not anymore, but I was. Can I tell you something? Once I found out men were attracted to me and they were willing to treat me good for sharing some time with them, I was desperate. But I wasn't just desperate for their money. Okay, let's make that clear. Tracilyn was desperate, but not only for their money. So I started traveling. Because I started going out of my home and going to work, if you will. Doing out calls, they call it. I was doing out calls to their houses. And I did all kinds of things. I'm looking forward to sharing this sometimes, but I would go to their homes. And I had my cell phone with me all the time, so the phone rang, I'm out. I'm out all night, maybe. You know? Home to home. And I'll tell you what, it's nothing like a lot of people have been taught. It is a wonderful time. It's like you have a lot of friends. And I'll tell you what, it takes you back to your childhood for a season. I was very fortunate. The very first encounter I had was very spiritual. Very spiritual. And anyway, without talking too much about that right now, at some point I said, you know what? I do a lot better. I was surprised. I was surprised that there were so many... I was surprised that I was popular and that people wanted to be sharing time with me. So with that being said, I made a lot of friends. And I don't mean... I don't know how that sounded, but I mean a lot of people that we'd talk on the phone or I'd go out to dinner with, just to hang out with, okay? And it's a season of my life I would never change for anything in the world. All you guys, whoever's watching this, if we have maybe crossed paths, can I say thank you for everything? This season of my life, I would have never made it without you. And let me tell you something, I got a lot of abuse by a lot of people, because not only ain't I a transsexual, okay, female, outed. We spotted her. There she is with the spotlight, like a deer. Aha! I knew it! You're a dirty girl. Yes, that was me. I was naughty. I was naughty for a season. Okay. Get over it. I paid my dues, trust me, and you have stories to share with you about that. A lot of good times. So I finally at some point decided, you know what? Craigslist was big at that time. It's a great way to advertise. I wrote a song about it. Check it out on my other YouTube page, Tracilyn Michael. I wrote a song called It's Hard to Be an Escort. And let me just tell you this. It is hard to be an escort. It really is. And let me tell you something. I had the opportunity, I don't want to get too much into this, but I had the opportunity for the first time in my life to travel. Travel and see sights that I never got to see before. Big cities, cities of acceptance. Okay? Diversity, acceptance. I got to go to beaches. I got to go to New Jersey. I got to travel up and down the East Coast. I got to go to Hollywood, fly out to Hollywood. I got to, and this is big to me. I wanted to do these things all my life. I'm doing it. I'm living the life of my dreams. Not doing it the way I thought I would have, but sometimes it was better probably. I don't know. Maybe. Ooh, I ought to change my attire when I share that stories with you. Maybe I will. Get out my paddle or something. I did BDSM, you know. So check this out. I want to look good for my clients. I want to look good. I care. I'm working out. I'm eating the best I can. I didn't do as good as I would like to. You know, living on the road can be tough at times. I started working out. Sometimes I'd run outside. A lot of times I would. It was another way to meet people, you know. And sometimes I would be spotted. Got the spotlight! You're that transsexual escort! Yes, it's me. How are you doing? And I was very open about it. You know, I ran a profession. Understand this. I ran a profession. Okay? And we're talking a little bit more about that. It's not exactly what everybody was thinking it was. You know, because I was obviously I wouldn't have been very open to if I was doing anything illegal or anything like that, and I wasn't. Okay? Just know this, I wasn't. I was an adult, so I was providing entertainment services for adults. This was enjoyable to me. So I'm traveling around the country. I need to look as good as I can. I'm taking pictures of myself. I wanted to start doing videos, adult videos, just because I wanted to try a little bit of everything, you know, my whole life. Savannah, remember? Savannah, I wanted to be sort of like Savannah in my own way. And at this time, I'm kind of finding myself and realizing I'm learning to accept myself. I want to be more Tracilyn, less Savannah, less Tori Wells or whoever these girls, Joan Jett. I want to be less Lita Ford, less Terry Clark. I want to be Tracilyn, less Shania Twain. You know, I really am. I'm trying to fight all this desire to be, you know, Madonna. I don't want to be all these people. I want to be Tracilyn. So this is a time in my season I'm really seeking deep to figure out who I am. Because obviously now I don't want to... I used to think that I wanted to be like Richie Sambora, Mick Mars, and all these other guys, right? Guys from Quiet Right. You know, Def Leppard. I love Def Leppard a lot. And I will probably hardly ever talk about him. Why is that? Pour some sugar on me. Love bites. With that being said, notice I say that. With that being said, that's going to be the cat thing. With that being said, I started going to gyms. Can I tell you there's awesome gyms up in Rhode Island without telling you the names of the places? There's awesome gyms in Connecticut without telling you the names of these places. And can I tell you that there's awesome gyms in New Jersey where there's a lot of Italian guys that attend, by the way? Shh. Yes, it is true. That's girl stuff. Okay. I got around. I'm getting to go to these gyms down in Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland. You know, Washington. I went to Washington, D.C., you know. I never got to see these places, ever. But I did get to go into the fitness centers as well. Down in Florida. Wherever I went. Hollywood. I remember running on a treadmill. And I don't know, it was a Hollywood Boulevard or what have you. It was a very classy place, by the way. So it might not have... Listen, I say that. I'm not sure exactly where this was. But it looked very classy to me. The neon lights were going and... I think it was off of Hollywood Boulevard, but it might have been somewhere else. Okay, it might have been in Beverly Hills. I don't remember where this fitness center was. And there's something to be said about running on a treadmill, looking out this glass window, knowing you're in L.A. And at that time, there was a song, something to do with L.A. I'd have to look that up. It was amazing. It seemed like a lot of times when I was going through my life, like there were soundtracks to my life. First time I went to LA, there was a really popular song on the radio. I have to look it up. Sometimes do you ever feel that way? When you're living your life, it's like the music around you is kind of like in harmony with what's going on in your life. I feel that way a lot. Especially now. And so I go to these places up in Massachusetts and stuff. I'm getting a network. I get to meet a lot of people. And guess what? Tracilyn. It's okay to use the ladies' locker room. It's okay to use the ladies' restroom. Are you a lady? Are you a lady? Am I a lady? Are you a lady? I'm a lady. I'm a lady. And ladies use ladies' bathrooms. Ladies use ladies' locker rooms. Ladies don't go into guys' bathrooms. Listen. Okay. If they're with the NFL, maybe. Okay. Maybe. Maybe? Possibly? Just for a minute or two. One time. If I have a cheerleading outfit on, could I? You know, you think of this stuff, and the bottom line is, most, if not all, the places treated me with respect. I had 2 or 3 times I'll talk about, but most places treated me with a great deal of respect. I don't want to ride this too much, but this is a big deal. To my sisters, to me. To me. If to anyone else, it's a big deal to me. Let us all together, as a society, let's come up with a reasonable conclusion. The best way to deal with this. As a team. Without being non-judgmental. Without discriminating. You know, being civilized about it. Leave comments down here, if you will, underneath my YouTube video. Work something out in your local community. Let's be supportive of each other, of all walks of life, not just with the transgender community, with all people. Do I know all the answers? No. I don't know all the answers. I'm just sharing with you the complications I had. I met a lot of really cool people, and they knew flat out. They also knew that Tracilyn was an escort. And they also knew that Tracilyn was there to work out. And wherever she went, people were going to say, hey, what gym do you go to? I saw your photos. You look like you work out. I used to get asked that all the time. I had toned legs. Where do you work out at? Where do you work out at? Where do you work out when you're on the road? How many people ask me that, maybe? I'll tell you one place I told them not to go. Okay? There's a couple places don't go. If you want to be safe, you want to be respected, there's other places to go. But steer away from certain places. Okay, that just happens. It just happens. Now we got the internet, we talk to people. You know, we have to stay tight, we have to take care of each other. I don't want my sisters being disrespected. I don't want to be disrespected. I don't want to go into a place and make it a big deal. You know, I'm there to work out like everybody else, you know, in these fitness centers. This is a big deal. So there was 1 or 2 other times, probably, maybe, before I had the correction on my license. Thank goodness that got taken care of. And you know, that's my defense. And I'll tell you what, sometimes people can be mean either way. You're going to find out. People can still be mean. Even mean because they got you figured out. Aha, you were lying to me. What'd you do? You're lying to me, aren't you? Are you really a girl? Where'd you get that license at? You're lying to me, you know. You got something between your legs, don't you? Let me tell you something. People can be pretty ignorant. Okay? So the last place that I ended up going, and I'll talk more about Ohio at another date. But I went out to Ohio and had 2 experiences. I'm going to tell you right up front with this one. This upset me. LA Fitness. To this day I'm upset about that. Beaver Creek, Ohio. I went to that fitness center. I was so excited. I'm trying to get my life together. Up to that point, you haven't even heard half the things that I've been through just from now to there. You only heard up until my teen years, really. And I'm trying to clear up a lot of things to get started into my 30s. All this stuff that I've been sharing with you has been happening all my life. I'm going to tell you straight up with this place. LA Fitness in Beaver Creek, Ohio. I'll repeat it twice. LA Fitness in Beaver Creek, Ohio. And I'll never forget how they made me feel. And they refused to apologize to me. Because that's all I wanted. Will you apologize to me? No. No. Why would they apologize to me? I'm a nobody. I'm Tracilyn, also known as VCAT. Okay. So I go to this gym. They had a great sales pitch. Nice gym. I go in, I'm all excited. It's been so long, and now I'm starting my new life out in Ohio. I'm dealing with all this stuff. Anybody can say, psychologically, I had to go through a lot of stuff. My mind was really messed up. And wait till you hear some of my stories. So I'm at this gym. These guys are selling, salesmen, you know how salesmen, any salesman anywhere. I sit down with him. We work it out. I started paying my whatever fees I had to pay in the beginning. I don't know if there was a starting fee or whatever, but basically I got a membership. Can I tell you, within my first or second day there, that I was insulted? Okay? The bottom line is, all I did is put my purse. Remember, I told you I dress to go to the gym. I dress to go to the gym for a lot of different reasons. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what form I'm in, whether back in the old days or nowadays. I get dressed at home, I go to the gym, I go to the locker room. In this situation, I got my purse and my belongings, my keys, and I want to lock everything up safely, okay? That's all. That's all. Okay? And I have to use the restroom. I'm not going with the guys. I'm not going to go in a locker room with the guys unless it's NFL players. Okay, I'm not going to do it. Maybe it's the rockers. Rock stars? Oh, please. So I lock my stuff up. I use the restroom. Okay, they have doors on them. Nobody needs to know anything about my life. It's my life. My privacy. I have my right to my privacy. Remember, what's between a person's leg doesn't dictate who they really are, male or female. So definitely by the second time or so, somewhere within that time, within a reasonable amount of time, less than a week, evidently one of the girls got upset. They caught whim, and they didn't caught whim by seeing me in the restroom. They assumed. Okay, some people can kind of pinpoint. Some people study transsexuals. We can go into this. This is a whole long conversation. I could share a lot with you and really help you. There are ways that you can, there's different features sometimes, a little bit different ways that you can tell if there's a possibility. But let me tell you something. Even in genetic girls, the transsexuals right now, they might be upset. But they can also agree that some genetic girls, too, have the exact same features because they have more male in them than female. So really, you don't know. So you're assuming that this is probably a transsexual, but you don't know. How do you know? I don't know. How do we figure this out? Okay. And that's what she did. She assumed. Went and told the guys. Look how humiliating? There you go. Humiliating that was. Okay, I can laugh about it now. At that time with my head all messed up, oh, wait till you hear some of the stories that lead up to that. Can I tell you right now? It was humiliating. Did I say that? It's humiliating. So as I walk out, I sense something. And the guy behind the counter says, "Excuse me." And all I remember is that he asked me for my driver's license. And it was him behind a counter, and it was another guy kind of standing guard. Like, what am I going to do? Really? What are you going to do? What are you two going to do to me? Was I doing wrong? Okay. So I handed my driver's license. Everybody that I told that story to tells me I should have never showed him my driver's license. None of his business. That's what they say. I'm just saying what they say. I don't know. Was it his business? Evidently, they're running the gym. So I gave him my driver's license. Pennsylvania driver's license at that time. And still at that time, I don't think they were allowing it to legally be corrected. See, Pennsylvania, thank goodness that you finally passed the ability to do that for us to make our life easier. Huh? We just want a little bit easier, just a little bit. Is it possible? Can't get jobs? getting discriminated against. Right? Life is miserable. You get picked on your whole life, beat up, all kinds of things, right? Can we at least make their lives a little bit easier, maybe? So that when somebody's cornering you like that, and they're assuming just because there's an M there that you're not a lady, is because because the legalization of that has not caught up with reality, that this has been going on since the beginning of time, really. Thank you, Pennsylvania, for correcting that. We did good, we did good, we did good. All my legal documents are corrected now. But let me tell you something. That was humiliating back then. You know what that guy did? Chucked it at me. You used the men's room. Me? Maybe you're thinking, well, use the men's room. What's wrong with you, Tracilyn? You like men, don't you? I do. I love men. I also love myself too much to be humiliated like that. I am worthy of using the ladies' room. And let me tell you something. I wasn't strong back then. I was so blown away in my mind. Anybody who knows me knows that. I needed to go there. I needed to go there. I didn't want to go to start any kind of trouble. I didn't want to stir anything up. I didn't want to start a whole nother what happened in Lebanon. You know, I don't want to start that. Now I'm traveling all over the country. Everybody else is treating me like any other girl. Hello? 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 Really? I may have some male features to you. Maybe I'm not your idea of a lady, but let me just tell you. I don't look like your average man. I love men. I don't look like the average man. And even if I did, psychologically, my brain is wired to be a lady. Okay? That hurt. Me use the men's room? Not on your life. So long story short, I ended up either making phone calls or writing letters or whatever. I think I found corporate, the main corporate office. I don't remember where they're based out of. I don't remember all this stuff. I used to have all this information saved. And can I tell you, I think they were kind of sympathetic, but not really. You know, kind of making a joke about it. From what I remember. I think he said, he kind of blew it off like it's no big deal, but it's like I could probably say something to him about calling you and apologizing. Because I said, that's all I want. I said, I want my money back and an apology. I'll go to another gym. I got my money back. But can I tell you something? I never got an apology. And can I tell you something? I would have rather had the apology than my money back. Does that make sense? I hope they changed their ways. That was a while ago. That was a while ago. There may have been different management. Maybe different corporations owned it at the time. For all I know, who knows who really owns it? But I'm just sharing with you the truth. Okay? Can I tell you I traveled the country for a while after that, and I never once went to an LA fitness center since then, or LA fitness, whatever it was. I never went to one after that. And I won't, ever. Ever. Unless I get an apology. It makes sense, right? Makes sense to me. And much like other facilities that I've been at, I mean, I'm going to talk to other people. I'm going to share with them my story. You know, here's a safe place to go. Here's a place where they respect you. Right? Here's a place where they don't judge you, they don't tolerate. They have zero tolerance. Zero tolerance. And I say that again, zero tolerance for harassing the other members. These are the places that you go that they tell people to deal with it or use the door. We're here to elevate people and get them built up. That next transsexual that walks through the door, she may be the next Arnold Schwarzenegger for all we know. I don't know. Most of them probably hope not. You know, understand, it's not, I'm just talking about big in size. You know, the muscles big in size. I don't want to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know. Savannah. Remember Savannah. So, I want to forgive. That's how I feel about that. I want to forgive. I don't care about the apology anymore. You know? I just know that I'm never going to go to their facility again, and I'm never going to recommend it, and I'm going to caution people. You know? Caution people about that. Because I don't want to see one of my sisters or one of my girlfriends go to any facility anywhere and be disrespected. Here's the less likely, here's a place that's less likely going to disrespect you. I mean, that's really the way it is. If you go to this facility, it's less likely that they're going to disrespect you, but you never know. If you go work for this company, it's going to be less likely that they're going to mistreat you. Yeah. I'm sorry that happened. That's what I'm sorry about. Because I mean, once I share my story about being in Ohio, there's a lot of people that they didn't understand why I had to work out so much. That was a big part of my life. That's what I do. I don't just sing. I don't just play guitar. I work out for a lot of reasons. Up here, body, mind, and soul. Okay? It's very important to me. Even to this day. But because of some of the situations, which I don't have time to go into a whole lot of them, some of the situations that have happened, what's the point? Do I want to keep on fighting people all the time? Seriously! Don't lose the fight, Tracilyn. Don't lose the fight. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Don't lose the fight, Tracilyn. I'm going to keep on fighting the rest of my life? That doesn't even make sense. I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. You guys win. How's that? You win. Because guess what? I work out in my room. I work out in my room and I found its advantages. And I save money. What do you think of that? Okay. Run around outside. Ride my bike. Stay at a hotel with a treadmill. Okay? You find creative ways. Hotel isn't going to bug me about it. They're not going to bug me about it. Okay? And if they do, I go to another hotel. It's a shame. I'm going to tell you another place really quick with Fitness Center, and then we're going to finish out with Superball moments. At that time, I was living in Beaver Creek, Ohio. And the person I was with understood somewhat, tried to understand. It's a big deal in my life. I want to look as girly as possible, okay? To make my life a little bit... Hey, you want an easy life, Tracilyn? No. I want to get my way through life without creating distracting everybody. You know, if I can blend in, that's what we call it. If I can blend in a little bit more, I'm going to get harassed a little less. That's all. A little less. That's all. Now understand, a lot of the mentality of society is brought down through entertainment, religious leaders, people in power, oppressing, trying to control the dominant thoughts in our minds. Are we going to keep on living with other people telling us what we should accept and what we shouldn't accept? You're going to burn in hell. You're going to burn in hell. Hey, you boy. Me boy. Wearing those panties. You're going to burn in hell now. You're going to hell. God doesn't love you. You're Satan's child. Yes, maybe. Maybe I don't want to go to hell. Or maybe I do. Why not? He's good with it. Right? Come on. We got to get past all of this. Really? Thank you, Christian leaders. Seriously. Any Christian leader is preaching something like that. Thank you. Thank you for making my life a little bit easier. Really. For any leaders. For anybody. And I say that because I studied under the Christian faith. And I know a lot of the focus is not focused on the grace of Jesus for a lot of people within the community. And I also learned that a lot of what I was taught is not true. That's true. Learn the hard way. You're God. You're God, and you're the one who can make a difference. Let's put away the old ways. Put on a new face and start treating people with respect. And stop judging. And stop worrying about what panties they have on and what body part they have. It's very obvious. It's very obvious. It's very obvious when you see me. What category do I go in? Okay? And you can insult me down here. You know, you belong with the sissies. I don't mean that as an insult to anybody else. I don't want to get carried away with that right now. You know? Another gym that I went to, an older guy who ran this gym. I don't know what for gossiping may have been going around, but I was put in a position because of LA Fitness that I had to be very forward with these people because I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this stupidity. Really, I am. I mean, that's the way I'm feeling. I'm just getting tired of this. Listen, and I hate that. I shared with him my story. I told him how much it meant to me. I hope I spilled my heart out to him. Did I have to do that? Did I have to spill out my heart and share the story of what happened at LA Fitness? Or could I just say, hi, my name is Tracilyn, I'd like to join your gym? No! I had to share my story. Humiliate myself again. Out myself immediately. Okay? What they mean by out is I had to tell them I'm a transsexual. I'm a transsexual. Okay? Should I say I'm an escort too? Transsexual escort? I don't know what I should put there. I put on I'm blonde and I love tigers and I love Elvis and should I just keep on telling them everything about my life? I shared my story. Very simple. You know what he said? You join our gym. You use the ladies' room. Thank you. You, my friend, and the tall, muscular black man who works there. You have no idea what that meant to me. You have no idea whatsoever what that meant to me. And I'm not gonna lie, I felt the energy of the possibilities of people questioning. Things could have bounced around, but can I tell you something? They respect me. They respected me. They respected me. Now why wouldn't I share the name of that? If they ever see this video and they want me to, I will. 100%. 100%. I don't like to use names. Notice, even the name of the place that was here in London, Pennsylvania, you know what? I love those guys. Especially the girl, the lady. You have no idea how many conversations we had. She made me feel like one of the girls. The guys in Beaver Creek, no, they didn't make me feel like one of the girls. Not at all. In fact, they were very clear I wasn't. Be careful of who you support. Be careful of who you support. Be careful what gyms you're a member of. Do you care about people in the LGBT community? Do you care about people of all walks of life? Period. Be careful what places you support. Period. Not just fitness centers, all facilities. Department stores, music stores, pizza places, fast food franchise. How are they treating all walks of life? If we're all getting treated like poop, then it's different. Because we're all getting treated by poop. We're all getting treated like poop. And we're all getting treated like poop together. That's freedom and equality, right? In a way, we're kind of equality anyway. Some of this, of course, will probably be edited out. I had to get this off my chest. We're going to end with the fitness. Let's just say that I don't go to a fitness center anymore and I miss it. Now my budget's kind of tight and I got to be honest. Tell me a fitness center out there. Leave a comment. What fitness centers can you go to? Period. Anywhere. Anywhere in the world. But they don't discriminate. And they get it. Okay. I used to think to myself as a traveler, you know, when I was an adult entertainer, and I traveled around. I wish I had one membership card. One membership card. And no matter where I went in the country, wherever that gym was, I could go. A lot of times with these gyms, you know, you got to kind of get a permit or something in advance, and you got to plan. I got to be honest, I could never do that with some of these fitness. I couldn't do that. I can't plan. You know, well, I'm going to be leaving here in 2 weeks, because usually it was last second. I'm picking up and I'm leaving. It'd be nice to have one card. Go to wherever that fitness center is. You pay the membership. Maybe you pay extra. I don't know what the answer is. Maybe you pay extra and you have, wherever you are in Mexico, Canada, or USA, you got a card. Or wherever in the world. Makes sense to me. If you got a franchise there, why not use it? Maybe pay a little extra or something. I don't know what the answer is. Let's figure this out together. Can we? For the future generations. There's a lot of girls, a lot of boys, a lot of people coming our way, right after us. Let's make it an enjoyable experience for them. Make it enjoyable. Alright guys, this here is Tracilyn, and I know for a fact that the last message was pretty sensitive to a lot of people, and it's going to get around. I just say that I'm sorry I even had to experience it. You know? Sometimes people don't realize how... Sometimes me too, we don't realize how powerful our words or actions are towards someone. And we can either elevate them or we can tear them down. And let's put it this way, we have no idea what they've been through throughout their life, period. All of us. All of us. Oh. I guess my hope and all I'm crying out for is that can we all learn how to get along? I used to have a good friend. In fact, you saw him in other videos. Johnny. He used to always tell to me, can't we all learn how to get along? He would say that at work all the time, if there would be some minor bickering or something. He'd look at me and he'd have this really I wish I could get him on camera to do it. Can't we all just learn how to get along? And he would keep on saying this. You know, he was like me, he He didn't want to fight with people. He wants to have a good time. At work, he loves to work. He wants to work and have a good time. I'm the kind of person I want to play and have a good time. Just play in general, you know, and have a good time. I want to be worrying about how to get along with everybody, you know. I don't want to hear that, you know, 20 years from now we're still kicking people out of a gym because we don't get it. How's that? Okay? I understand this. We are all becoming educated, including myself. We're being educated together. It's a real deal. Let me tell you something. This is no case scenario where what you want to call man in dresses and the way they're portrayed a lot of times on television or on famous talk show television shows. Okay? We need to change our ways. It's affecting the lives. And we are. We are. So I'm sorry if I hurt anybody's feelings, and I'm sorry if I offend people. I know people are sensitive to things. I'm saying the absolute truth, and I have witnesses to everything that I'm sharing with you, even down to my spiritual. Even down to my spiritual. Many encounters where people were actually with me. Now, they might not want to share that, you know, whether it be on camera or even off camera. Some of them might not. I have witnesses. There's a Superball moment. It's really, really quick. It's getting late. It's almost midnight. In Union Alley, I used to take my matchboxes sometimes. And this is probably from watching car shows, whatever they were. One of the things I like outside of dirt track racing is it derby racing or something where they crash up derby. I always call it crash up derby. Is that what it is? Derby races or something? Crashed up derby. Where these cars run into each other over and over again, and the one left running around wins. Crashed up derbies. I used to love that. Did you ever go see that? Just scroll. I'm sure you can see it on YouTube. I used to take my matchboxes when I lived in Union Alley and I'd throw them against our porch wall. Just keep throwing them over and over again just to bust them up. Not all of my cars, not the General Lee. Did I do that once? I think I did. Oh, I think I got a new General Lee, and that's why I did it. I found an old one from someone. I got it at a flea market or something, and I crashed it up. So other cars, of course. I wouldn't do that to the General Lee. And I took this and I smacked it up. I used to think that was cool. A little crashed up derby car. And then sometimes I'd act like I got into an accident with it. And also I used to like laying them down in the alleyway. So when cars would go by, I'd put them in the alleyway first, and then I'd run up to the porch and close the screen door and kind of peek out, Snoopy, like my great-grandma. And I would kind of snoop out the screen door. And let me tell you something. To watch those cars run over it, the whole trick of it is getting it into the ruts of the alleyways where it seemed like the tires were most likely to run through. Makes sense, right? Didn't always work. Sometimes I was staring at there and I was playing around with this for about a half an hour, trying to figure out why ain't these cars running over my matchboxes. And I had to figure it out. They'd be dancing all over the alleyway. I'd move it over and then the car would seem to go around it like they knew it was there. I almost picked my nose. Did you see that? I got an itch. Right here. There's nothing on there, see? They're boogies. So, let me see. Do you remember having, or do they still have the racetracks where they were like electric at the time, at least back in the very beginning of the 80s? I remember I had a racetrack for Christmas. My mother got it for me. And you could set it up a lot of different ways. So it could be a round racetrack, or you could kind of prop it up and have like little bridges and kind of snake it around a little bit with the different track pieces. My brother would help me do that all the time. And then I had, what it was is it reminded me of kind of like the Dukes of Hazzard again. Remember, this is my younger years. I can't help it. I'm sorry. Have grace on me. We watch the Dukes of Hazzard all the time. a Corvette, but this one was a Corvette. And then I had a police car, which looked a lot like the ones that were in Lebanon at that time. You know, so I had this Corvette on this track, holding my gun, and the police cars would be chasing us around. And basically, a friend could be the policeman, or you could, and then you had the Corvette. And I'm telling you, this was one of the greatest gifts I ever got for Christmas. I played with that all the time. And the trick for that was trying to keep it on the track, especially when I had the oval tracks put together, because they would go really, really fast. And anybody who ever had these cars, do you remember that? Do you remember the race tracks? Do they still sell them? This was a big deal. My brother had one and it glowed, and it also had a ramp. So these cars would jump and launch over, and would they land back on the track and keep going? Sometimes. Sometimes not. For me, guess what? Guess. No, they didn't. Never stay on the track. I'd jump, and sometimes they'd go shooting across the living room. That used to hurt me. Believe it or not, I would cry. I'd feel a little less of myself because of the stuff like that. Really? No more. Yeah. Maybe sometimes it affects me, but not like it used to. I hope not. Maybe I have to play with a racetrack and figure it out. I also don't know if I told you, I used to have an R2-D2 robot. I either got it in Jonestown or Lafayette. But I remember this R2-D2, I used to sleep with it like a stuffed animal. And the head spun, if you know what I mean, on Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, something like that. I remember this spun around. His head did. I guess they might have been in all of them. And it had a little red light, I think it was red. You know, and it made the sound. You know, like a do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And it spun around, zzz. And I'm not sure if it did anything else, but it had a black remote, and it had a wire like antenna on it, like a little hanger. And unfortunately, that hanger got all bent up. And that was one of my favorite toys too. I loved that thing. R2-D2. I love to play it on the kitchen floor. You can't really do it on the carpet because it had little wheels on its feet. So it was really neat to see that. It was my first remote control. You know, did you ever have a remote control, or do you? Sometimes they have airplanes. Sometimes they have cars. Mine was an R2-D2. And I loved it a lot. So every time I see the symbol or R2-D2 picture, I reflect back to that. Every time I see a Corvette, I think back to that. Every time I see a police car, I think back to my racetrack. You know, or the friendly cops that I used to meet here in London, you know. I think of those times. It's so weird how images can instantly, whether we're aware of it or not, flash us backwards to those times. Good times. 3 more things here yet. I don't know if you remember me talking about being thrown out of the house in Lafayette Street in my Fruit of the Looms. It was because, you know, I don't want to keep repeating what happened with my sister, what I did to her. This part, you don't know which one it was. How's that? Can I just say that I remember the punishment for her hiding her panties. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. Hiding her panties, her dirty panties. I'm not going to say what happened, but the punishment that happened to her affected me greatly. And I never forgot it. It didn't make me love the person who was punishing her any less. It didn't make me love it any less, but what it did is it brought me deeper into a love for my sister. It broke my heart. I've seen my family go through a lot. It wasn't just me. We all had our challenges. So when I share my story, I'm not saying, woe me, look at me. I'm sharing you the life of my story. These are the things I encountered. I'm sharing you the happy times, the little toys that I had, My matchboxes. It was a big deal to me. I collected matchboxes. Back in that day, you collected matchboxes. And I had a big case. And in that case was all kinds. I still remember some of those cars. Hot Wheels was a big thing for me. And you would open up the case and you'd have trays. 2 trays filled with cars, and then you'll flip it over. I remember when I moved up and I got a bigger one because my friend or my cousin had one and I want a bigger Matchbox collection. You know, that was precious to me. Even more than dolls. Even more than my Gene Simmons doll or my stuffed animal collection. I loved Matchboxes back then. Just to give you a heads up why I'm looking like that is where I'm staying right now. I kind of was a little concerned because it sounded like somebody was trying to jiggle my door. I'll leave that on. 2 minutes till midnight. What's the date? It's before October the 13th. I remember as a kid when we used to live in Jonestown. And my uncle had an amazing whistle. Loud whistle. And when we'd be all the way back in the playground playing, if you go and look, some of the videos that I recorded from us when we were in Jonestown. He would whistle from the house when it was dinner time or time to come in. And we would hear that. It was amazing how loud that was. And any of his children, or any of us children, you know, our siblings, we could confess to that. I was always amazed by that, you know, my uncle's whistle. And he didn't use a whistle, he did it with his fingers. I used to try that all the time. I didn't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. But he did, and it was loud. And I think it was more like, you know, something like that. Can you do it? Do you have videos of you whistling? Did you ever try whistling? I do it. Like that, but I can't do it this way. People tried to teach me. We used to practice that a lot on Lafayette Street because we would reflect back in Jonestown when my uncle used to whistle. And we used to try to figure it out, and some people could do it. Not as loud as him, though. Oh my goodness, my uncle had a loud whistle. Okay, I'm getting really tired now. It's 12:01 on October the 13th, 2013. In 6 days, I'm going to be 41. I'm sharing with you my life story. My hope is that it will inspire someone, anyone, in any way positive. Please forgive me if you feel I upset you or offend you. The last thing I'm going to share with you right now in my last Superball moments. Did I say bouncy ball moments? Superball moments. When I would get out of control sometimes. You know, maybe smart with someone. Sometimes, guys, I put you in a headlock. Remember wrestling? Put you in a headlock. My brother would do that to me sometimes. Or my cousins. Or the neighbors. I got put in a lot of headlocks. That was a big thing, but usually with either my older cousin or my brother. Okay? Sometimes my superhero friend. And can I tell you something? Look here. Can I tell you something? Oh no, let's move this back. Up back this way. Can I tell you something? I used to like the way their armpits smelled. They usually wore Brute. Speed Stick. Speed Stick. And Brute was a big cologne back in the day. Do I still like Brute? Probably not. But back in the day I did. Reminded me of my dad. I love you guys. I'm sharing my entire life story. Because I care. And I do better on this side of the screen than if I was sitting there with you. Love.